Hello everyone, Dr. Maiden here again with a video. I wanted to create a string of videos that are going to have things like writing advice, study advice, and then also just kind of surviving college advice. And so linked to surviving college and then study advice is this idea I had to do a video of another listicle here of providing 5 tips to improve your time management for college. And this is something really important because your time is precious. I know you guys are pulled in a lot of different directions, so it can be really hard, particularly to carve out and protect study time, class time, when you're pulled in so many different directions. So this is going to be 5 tips for you to be thinking about how to better improve your time management so you excel while you're here in college. So number 1 is your phone calendar is your best friend. The calendar on your phone, you should be using this religiously. So at the beginning of each semester, and I know right now we're mid-semester as I'm making this video, it's not too late. Get your phone out now, start doing it. At the beginning of each semester though, take out your phone, take each syllabus for all of your classes, and just start plugging in the dates, the deadlines for everything that you have, so that you are setting reminders for yourself in a device that is almost always on your person of when you have things due, when you have to be ready to submit things. And here, when it comes to putting things into the calendar, you can get creative too. You'll know better about yourself if you can trick yourself. If you can do something like set the deadline for an assignment as 8 a.m. on the day that it's due, so that it pings you first thing when you wake up and you can think, shoot, I forgot about that, but I actually have till 2 p.m. when the class starts when it would be due. Okay, so number 1 is use that calendar on your phone religiously. Plug everything in so that you are knowing what your schedule actually looks like. And another good thing about having it on your phone calendar is it will help avoid situations of you double booking yourself, you agreeing to do something and then realizing, you know what, I have class at that time and I forgot, or I have to have an assignment that's due the next day, I can't commit to this. So using that calendar, checking that calendar, linking it to your email, whatever you can do to have something that's always in your hand, pinging you about your alerts. And don't just do it with school things, put in personal things, put in your work schedule, right? Just really rely on that calendar to help keep you organized, because it's really hard to remember all of the different things that are going on in your life, especially as it gets more complicated when you add, I have kids, or I have a partner, I have, other obligations that I'm having to meet, okay? Number 1, use that calendar religiously. Number 2, and this is kind of linked to having a calendar, is schedule out as best you can your study time and stick to it. So just like you would have in a calendar the times you're in class, the times that you work, build in for yourself a schedule of time of when you can study. So put it in the calendar and try and protect it as best you can. So if you actually have it in a calendar that I study on Tuesdays in the morning and Fridays in the mid-afternoon, and keep those blocks of time, keep them as recurring events in your calendar, you have this protected study time that as best as I can. Of course things come up, of course they do. This happens to faculty as well. We can have dedicated research time and things just come up. And that's fine. But if you have it in a calendar, this protected study time, you are more likely to actually commit to getting into that habit of using that study time for studying. Okay, so that's number 2, schedule time to study and stick to that schedule. Number 3 is directly related to that, and it is that not only should you schedule a time to study, but you should schedule a time and a place that works for you most effectively. And here what I mean is, you are going to waste your time. You are going to waste an enormous amount of time if you go and meet your friends in the library to study when you know that's not your best study strategy. You could be a person where you feel like, I need silence. I need silence, and I need no distractions. So I need to be in a library cubicle by myself. Other people, you can think that would drive me to insanity. I need to be in a cafe. My best place to work is going to be in a Starbucks, over at Barnes & Noble, or in some busy space where I have noise, I have the clattering of silverware, I have music, but that actually focuses your energy more. So number 3, in terms of not wasting your own time, is when you go to study, pick a time and pick a place that works for you. Time is important here because if you're not a morning person and you're scheduling the morning to try and get your work done, you're not going to be effective, right? So if it's better for you to be studying at 11 at night over a beer, do that. If that's what's better for you, schedule that time at that place in that setting, okay? Because otherwise it will be an enormous waste of your time to commit study time in an environment or at a time of day when you know you're not going to get anything done, okay? So that's number 3 there. Find the routine that works for you. Find the time, the place, the environment that works for you. Number 4 for time management, prioritize your projects. So again, this is something you can do at the beginning of a semester. You can look through and see, what is this workload going to look like? Do I have a semester paper due? A big, a 7, a 12, a 15-page paper due? How many of those are due? What's going to be required for those? How much outside research is going to have to go into those? What are all the little things that fill a semester that I might have to do? Think it out, plan it out, and think strategically of what are all these different projects and what's the best way to attack them so I do this without wasting time, or so I do this so that it's not all happening in the same amount of time. I have 2 weeks at the end of the semester and I'm going to cram all of this in. Try and avoid doing that to yourself because it's just going to stress you out, and that process is going to be a big time wasting process for you if you're waiting till the end. 5th thing here, and this is probably the easiest to talk about, but then the hardest to actually do. Learn to say no. You need to learn to say no to more things because college can really pull you in a lot of different directions. Life pulls you in a lot of different directions. So no can be your best friend, that you just have to prioritize yourself, prioritize your studies. So whether it's saying no to a volunteer opportunity, an extra credit opportunity if you feel like you don't need it and it would just suck time away from a project that you need to do. If it's just saying no to, I can't go play sand volleyball tonight, or I can't watch your pets while you're gone, Mom, I've got a project that's due. It can be really hard. It can feel like maybe you're straining relationships, but you've got to do what you need to do to protect your time and to make sure that you're managing your time so that you are not swallowed up with stress at the end of a semester trying to get everything done. Okay, so learn to say no. Learn to know what works best for you in terms of how to study. Get everything in your calendar. Stick to your calendar, and just try your best to not procrastinate. Focus on scheduling out your time so that you're not stressed and that you are best managing your time and completing all of your assignments on time. Okay, so those are 5 things that hopefully that will help you as you're thinking about how to do projects and assignments and survive this thing that we call college. All right, comment down below with any other questions that you have, and I hope you have a great day.